Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about how do we solve logarithmic equations where we have 2 logs equals 1 log. So last time we did where 1 log equals 1 log, and we just said, okay, well, if 1 log is on this side and 1 log is on that side, we just cross them out. So here is the thing where we have 2 logs on one side. We want to condense those 2 logs into 1 log. So for problem number 1, we've got these 2 logs. So I'm going to condense that into log base 4. And now the rule is when we are adding 2 logs together, we're going to take those 2 things, 8, and multiply that with 4x. So 8 times 4x is going to be 32x. And now it equals log base 4 of 12. Okay, so now we have 1 log on one side and 1 log on the other side. We're just going to cross out log base 4 from each side. And now we're going to solve 32x equals 12. We're going to divide both sides by 32. X is going to equal, and we want to put it in simplest fraction form. So divide top by 4 is 3. Divide bottom by 4 is 8. X equals 3 over 8. Okay? So we're going to do this exact same thing. And we've got 2 logs. This is the natural log this time. Equals 1 log. So the first thing we want to do is we want to condense so that it's not 2 logs, it's only 1 log. So we're going to do ln, and then this 5x and this 10, what I do when it's subtraction is I divide that 5x divided by 10. And then I say to myself, well, could I simplify that? And I could, but right now I'm going to leave it as 5x over 10 equals ln of 49. And now because I have 1 log on one side and 1 log on the other, I have the natural log on this side and the natural log on that side. I can cross out those 1 logs from each side. And now I have 5x over 10 equals 49. I can simplify that. Divide by 5, we're going to get 1x over 2 equals 49. Last step, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. And I get x equals, because these 2's cancel, 98. Final answer. All right, so now on to the next one where we have 2 logs equals 1 log. So we're going to condense those 2 logs into 1 log base 7. And now I'm going to take this 8 and this x plus 4, and because it's addition, it becomes multiplication. So when I multiply those 2 things, I'm going to actually have to distribute that in. So it's going to be 8x plus 32 equals log base 7 of 80. And now because I have 1 log on one side and 1 log on the other side, I'm going to cross out those log base 7s. And I'm going to have 8x plus 32 equals 80. And now we're going to solve for x. So minus 32. So we get 48 equals 8x. Divide by 8. X equals 6. Final answer. All right, next one, we've got 2 logs equals 1 log. So we're going to have to condense those 2 logs. Now, if you don't see a base, remember, that's a base of 10 with that word log. So now we have x plus 8, and we have 6. And now this time, because it's subtraction, it's going to be division. So we're going to write it as x plus 8 divided by 6 equals log base 12. Sorry, log of 12. Log base is 10 when you don't see it. All right, now we have the log base 10 on one side and the log base 10 on the other side. We cross out those logs. And then we write x plus 8 over 6 equals 12. I'm going to multiply by 6, so I get rid of that 6 on the left-hand side. And I get x plus 8 equals 72. I'm going to subtract 8. X is going to equal 64. Final answer. Okay, on to the next couple. So same idea. We want to get these two logs, condense them into one log. So it's going to be 1 log base 4. And then I'm going to take this x and this x plus 10. And because it's addition, I'm going to multiply them. So x times x plus 10, I have to distribute that in. So it's going to be x squared plus 10x equals log base 4 of 11. Now, because I have log base 4 on each side, 1 on this side crosses out with 1 on that side. And so it's going to be x squared plus 10x equals 11. Oh, and now it is quadratic. So we want to bring everything to one side, x squared plus 10x. When we bring this 11 over, we have to subtract 11 equals 0. My factors of 11 that subtract to give me 10, 1 and 11, plus 10, plus 11 minus 1. So x is going to equal negative 11 and positive 1. Now, do they both work? Ooh. Now, here's the thing. Remember, with that log, we have to check to see if it works. If I plug in negative 11, I'm going to have log base 4 of negative 11. You can't take the log of a negative number, so this gets crossed out. If I plug in 1, I have a positive, and then 1 plus 10 is positive 11, so that one works. So the only answer for this one is x equals 1. All right, so all the other ones before, I didn't even stop to talk about that because they all wound up being positive when you plugged it back in. All right, but just keep in mind, like the last time, we have to just check to make sure it works. So for the next one, we've got 2 logs, and we want to make that into 1 log. So log base 3. And then I'm going to take this x, and I'm going to take this x plus 1. And we're going to multiply because it's addition. So I'm going to distribute. So that's going to be x squared plus 1x. You don't technically need that 1 with the x equals log base 3 of 6. All right, now I have log base 3 of this side and log base 3 of that side. I'm going to cross them out. And I get x squared plus 1x equals 6. I want to bring everything to one side. X squared plus 1x minus 6 equals 0. I want to look for my factors of 6 that are going to minus give me 1, 3, and 2. Plus 3 minus 2 would give me positive 1. So x would equal negative 3 and positive 2. Do they both work? If I plug negative 3 in, I get log of a negative 3, which does not work. So we cross that one out. If I plug 2 in, I get log of positive 2, log of 3, then when I plug that in, so 2 works. So my only solution for this is x equals 2. Okay, on to the next one. We've got 2 logs, so we want to condense them into 1 log. So I'm going to, I don't like how that cut off some of the log. So I want to condense these 2 logs into 1 log. So it's going to be log base 4. And then I take 5x squared and 8. And because it's subtraction, I'm going to divide it. Equals log base 4 of 10. Okay, so we're going to take log base 4 on this side and log base 4 on that side and cross them out. And it's going to be 5x squared over 8 equals 10. Now I can't reduce 5x squared over 8, so I'm just going to go ahead and solve. So I'm going to do multiplying by 8 to get rid of the dividing by 8 with the x squared. So I get 5x squared equals 80. I'm going to divide by 5. So we get x squared equals 16. And then I take the square root, and that means x equals plus or minus 4. Do both of them work? Well, if I plug in positive 4 squared is positive 16 times 5 is 80. That works. What about negative 4? Negative 4 squared is going to be positive 16. So actually, in this case, both of them work. So x equals positive 4 and x equals negative 4. So we've got two solutions for that. Okay. All right, last one. So we've got 2 logs, so we're going to have to condense those 2 logs into 1 log. Log base 7 of, and we're going to have to take this x minus 2 and this x plus 3, and we're going to multiply them. Ooh, we're going to actually FOIL them out. So x squared plus 3x minus 2x minus 6. So we've got x squared plus 1x minus 6 equals log base 7 of 14. And now I have 1 log on one side and 1 log on the other side. I cross those out and I get x squared plus x minus 6 equals 14. I have a quadratic, so I want them all to equal 0. So I bring that 14 over. So I get x squared plus 1x minus 20 equals 0. Factors of 20 that minus give me 1, 5, and 4. So x is going to equal negative 5 and positive 4. Do they both work? Negative 5? Nope, does not work because it gives me a log of a negative number. What about positive 4? 4 minus 2 is 2. 4 plus 3 is 7. So 4 works. So 4 is my only solution for this. So we only have one solution for this one because the other one renders a negative log. All right, and that's it for this one, solving 2 logs equals 1 log.